Yeah, Quinten, Rod Moore always plays a pretty big role this week, his last 3 years. I know it's still early, I know you're just arriving in the building, but what, you talked to him yet? And
Robin turned up all year for this game, so I know he's going to have a good message probably later in the week for the whole defensive unit. But at the end of the day, especially being from Ohio kid, this game means everything to him. So I know he's excited just to get this week going and get down to Columbus.
To your left, about halfway back, John.
Can you describe the intensity of playing in that building and what sticks out to you about 2 years ago being in there?
I mean, honestly, it's being there. You got to give them their respect early in the game when the game just started. The atmosphere, the ambiance, it's everything you think it should be for a rivalry of this caliber. So being a little bit older, it's exciting to be able to go back into an environment like that and live off the hatred and really feed off it. It's something very enjoyable.
Stay on your left, Ryan.
What do you remember most about last year's game and Sharon Moore being the acting head coach and how he managed the game?
The management and the style of coaching didn't necessarily change just because of Ohio State. We have a recipe and we have a way about going about doing things, and that doesn't change for anybody or any game. So I can't necessarily say that the mood of the coaching staff or the mood of the players changed during that game, but it was definitely a greatly executed game from both the coaches and the players.
Do you think how he handled that maybe helped him earn the full-time job this offseason?
Wins definitely help you become a head coach. So winning a game of that caliber definitely didn't do him any wrong.
Back to you right here in the corner, Larry.
How much does this game give you an opportunity to feel better about this season and you know, kind of put a stamp on it that you want and have it be the lasting memory of what you do Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, you come to Michigan to beat Ohio. So that's one of the pillars of the Michigan football program, and it's definitely something that each player is motivated to a T to go out and do. So it doesn't necessarily change the fact of where we are in the season, but it definitely is one of the defining moments of your career here at Michigan.
All right, on your right, about halfway back, Ryan.
You guys have obviously played two other top 10 teams this year. Didn't go well. What do you expect to be the difference, I guess, maybe in the performance this Saturday versus the performances against Texas and Oregon?
The execution and the game plan, like you said, didn't go our way. But at the end of the day, those are two different teams. And this is a new week. And we have the opportunity this week to go out and execute to the best of our ability. And if we go out and do that, then we should win the game.
How much do you think that those games also had to do with the lack of familiarity maybe with those two teams versus where you kind of focus on this team 365 days a year?
Yeah, that could have been part of it, but at the end of the day, we had a good game plan for both those teams. It came down to execution, and we didn't execute. So if we go out this week, we execute the way we can, then we should look a lot better.
Staying on your right, front here.
When you mentioned that if you guys can live off the hatred that comes out of that state, what does that mean?
Well, it's not a shocker. They don't like us. We don't like them. Being able to go into Columbus and embrace that villain role, embrace being the underdog in a moment like this, is something that is very motivating. It's something that every guy in the locker room can look at and look up to, and being able to silence the crowd like we did the last time is something that you can find a lot of fulfillment in.
And then Davis was talking about the linemen earlier, and he was saying they know how this game was won the last couple of years. How much confidence does it give you knowing that you have a lot of track record of winning the trenches in this game?
It gives a lot of confidence. Last year's team was last year's team. The year before that was the year before that. But at the end of the day, like you said, the physicality standpoint, it has to remain consistent if we're going to have success in this game. And throughout the season, the execution might not have been there, but the physicality was always there. So if we want to go out and win this game, we got to make sure that we're physical and we got to make sure that we're doing our job.
We've got time for a few more for Quinten in the back on
defense as a unit, you guys feel like you're playing some of your best ball right now? You know, rushing 6 points, you played good in the second half with Indiana.
Yeah, for sure. As a defensive unit, I definitely think that we're starting to gel and we're starting to live up to the expectation that we had going into the beginning of the season. And you see a lot of guys making plays, and it's something really exciting to watch. And I think this week could be a testament of who we are truly as a defense.
On your left, Clayton.
Your first couple of games against them, you guys hadn't won in a while, and then now you've won the last 3. Is there more belief just because of that, knowing that you guys have gotten over the hump in the rivalry?
Compared to belief this year, or?
Yeah, just the last few, and including this year, have you had more belief than maybe when you came in 19 or even before the 21?
Yeah, I would say after the end of the 21 season, there was never a shadow of doubt in anyone's mind that we are the more physical, the more dominant team, and we're the team that should ultimately come up victorious. Doubt and fear, I don't think that's ever really entered anybody's mind, especially the guys on this roster. So those being nervous or not being able to embrace the moment, that's not necessarily in anybody's mind because the expectation is to win.
All right, we'll go with a couple more for Q. Back to your right, about halfway, Charles.
Yeah, Sharon compared Ohio State's wide receiving corps to Oregon and Texas, saying they're just as good, if not better. What have you seen from that wide receiving group, and how can you slow them down a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, they have a lot of talent. It's still early in the week. I haven't watched as much tape as I want to be able to answer questions like that on them, but they're young. They got a lot of talent. They've always had a lot of talent. Yeah, they're good players.
All right, we'll close it out just in front of him, Tony.
Do you own any red clothes?
Do I own any red clothes? Not anymore, honestly. At high school, I went to a school that had the same colors of Ohio State, and then honestly, I can't even think of buying anything red since my senior year of high school. So, I mean, that's a testament. You don't even think about things like that until you understand how deep this rivalry runs within you once you get thrown in it. So, no, I don't.
Could you even describe your feelings towards them?
I don't like them. I never did. Even in high school, wasn't really a fan of Urban Meyer and all that. So I'm excited to be able to go in there and be their arch enemy.